Okay, so here I am in the Scottish Isles. Yeah, it's a pretty amazing sort of area to be flying around here. I like it. It's very, very cool. Today we're going to go and have a look at a couple of points of interest. So that should be quite interesting, and we'll see how we go from there. Let's see if this is working. This live stream. Can't see anything here. Go to home. Yep, here we are. Can't see anything here. Yeah, right, okay. Yeah, right, okay. Yeah, right, okay. Yeah, right, okay. Alright, I've just turned the sound off while I get this sort of share a link. Alright, I've just turned the sound off while I get this sort of share a link. Alright, I've just turned the sound off while I get this sort of share a link. Alright, I've just turned the sound off while I get this sort of share a link. Alright, I've just turned the sound off while I get this sort of share a link. Alright, I've just turned the sound off while I get this sort of share a link. Alright, let's get going. Fire this baby up. We'll have a little bit of fun today. The weather's pretty windy and nasty, and we've got to climb to a bit of a higher altitude, so it's going to be pretty interesting. Beacon light on, and mixture ready, fuel feed in,
test. Okay.
and we'll just looking good there. Set the transponder. Map. Right. And the beacon light is on. We'll put the navs on now. And we'll just tune to the traffic. 122 and 900. And I've been playing with this new feature. I'll show it to you in just a second.
Echo Golf 29er traffic Cessna Golf Uniform Romeo Delta Yankee is taxiing to runway 20.
It's going to runway taxi. So I've been playing with this pushback menu, and it sort of works okay. Sometimes these little fellas with these little mobile pushback tugs sort of get a little bit confused of where they're meant to go. But as you can see, I just switched to an outside view. I'm deep in the grass, I don't know why, but that's where the parking put me. Release our parking brake, and we'll see if he gets it right this time. Yeah, there he goes. He's going to drive into the centre of the plane. Sometimes they get that right, other times they just do not. And we're ready to go, and we'll see if he's going to push us back. Good thing is you can actually steer this with the rudder pedals. Makes pushback a lot better than what it was. You know, the default version of pushback is, you know, click the button and go, can you know, push me to the right? Can you push me to the left? That sort of that sort of junk. This one just allows you to steer your pushback tug yourself. Increase the tug speed a little bit. We can just get it to steer around. Steer the plane to where we want it. There we go. And look at that. Lovely. And we'll then push back. There we go. And he will now nig off and go somewhere else. Alright. I'll just do a quick run up. Parking brake on. Sounds goody good. We're just going to throw our nav on here. Bit of GPS. Right, we'll get rid of that. And we'll put our taxi lights on. Taxi on. The nav is on. And we'll just head down to runway 20. To take off. Just down here, and we'll just have a quick little look to either side. High wing aircraft is pretty hard to see, but there's no traffic around today. Set flaps to take off. Strobe on. Landing on. So anybody who's looking down at the runway should be able to see us nice and clear. Now this is going to be about a 40-minute flight, so you know, stay with me for as long as you want. Come back and have a look later if you want, if you're a bit bored. But we're going to go and have a look at a castle and a viaduct as part of this little flight. And just spin around. Right down the runway centre line. And take off, departing to the east.
Echo Golf 29er traffic Cessna Golf Uniform Romeo Delta Yankee taking off runway 02 departure to the east.
Flaps are set for takeoff. And we're up. Okay. T's and P's are in the green. Airspeed is alive. We are up. Climb pretty steeply, get out over these trees. We've got to circle around probably to get the right amount of altitude that I want. Flaps up. Pick up some speed now. Some speed and some altitude if we can. Still want to climb up pretty quickly. It's pretty windy out there, 15 knot breeze. It has dropped off a bit since I came in this morning. Battling 37 knot winds as I came down through the clouds. So it was pretty nasty there for a while. Nose up, we need some, really want to get up at least 1,000 odd feet before we come back round onto our course. She is pretty, we're going to climb up through some pretty high terrain to where we're going, so yeah, it should be a bit of fun. aircraft probably just briefly if you were watching. We're going to head out towards the southeast. There's a little town down there that we were just at. Down below us. So our first waypoint, which is the castle, it's only 5 nautical miles away, so we're going to not really climb too much higher. Just to get over these mountains. It should be just down. So we'll go around this mountain because if I am correct. We'll come down over the water. I'm pretty sure it's up that lock there. So as I said, we've got a few winds up here. It's 24 knot winds now. You can see on the display there going sort of like flying into it. It's a bit bumpy. I flew down to this airport in VR. I haven't learned how to stream VR yet. It's a bit of a trick. I've got to work out how to do that. But I did this flight down in VR, and I can tell you, coming down through the clouds in virtual reality in this weather, with these bumps and that sort of thing, it was quite an experience, and I had to have a little bit of time out from flying due to the fact that I was feeling very well from that flight down. I think that's to do with your eyes and your ears don't sync up, and your balance. As I'm over revving the aircraft there, I don't really want to do that for too long. It might cause us some damage. But I think it's mainly due to do with the fact that you your ears don't line up with what your eyes are seeing, so your balance center is working against you really in some respect. Alright, we're going to throttle back and descend down quite quickly towards the waterline. So this is a loch, and this loch is called, I don't even know how to pronounce it, Loch Duick. Oh no, 3 lochs, Loch Duick, Loch Long, and the Elsh Marine Protected Area that we are flying in at the moment. So, as you can see up ahead there is the castle that we're aiming for. And like 700 feet above sea level at the moment. See, there's a bit of weather around, a bit of turbulence, and here's this castle. So it's like, see if we can get a bit lower, slow right down if we can. Throw a bit of flap out, give us a bit of extra drag. Now I'm not going to be able to do too many circuits of this, I wouldn't think, because there's a big hill in the way. But let's fly past this castle, sitting out here on the water. If I can just do a quick sort of pan view. Well, we just jumped out and we can have a look at it from outside the aircraft. There she is. fly into the trees, Craig. That could have been very, very exciting. Right, we're going to have to sort of like gain some altitude now. Flips up. A little bit of a steep climb. And we are going to need to gain some altitude to get over these mountains around this lock. It's pretty exciting, wasn't it? Here we are leaving it behind. The scenery is just unreal. It's just this game simulator, whatever you want to call it. Some people call it a game or a simulator. The graphics are pretty outstanding, and the environment. So I'm actually flying live. We are flying at a live time here. Local time's 8:34 AM in Scotland, and yeah, and live weather. So that certainly makes it a lot more interesting. All right, we've got about a 24 nautical mile leg to go on this one. As you can see, about 22 nautical miles to go. Now, according to this, we are going to have to do some pretty tricky flying, according to my map, to get us into where this viaduct is, and then get us out again without ploughing into the side of a mountain. Part of the world to fly in, that's for sure. The weather is not great. We're going to try and stay under these clouds. So we'll get as high as we can before we start getting into the cloud, and then we'll just try and stay under the cloud, and we may have to pick our way along through some valleys to be able to get there and staying under the cloud, which might make the flight a little bit longer than I planned. But I've got an application running on my other screen called Little Nav Map, and that sort of helps guide me along, as well as what information I've got there, which is it's a handy tool to have when you're flying in an area that you're not familiar with. I also use it for plotting courses. Gives me all my airport information and stuff as well. Things like altitudes and that for different airspaces. So as you can see now, we're just in this edge of this cloud here. Really don't want to go any higher. So we'll follow this valley down. There's a bit of a river here. Might be able to just cut across one of these peaks. So where the river, the source of the river is up there. Might be able to swing around and cut across one of these peaks and see if we can get down the other side. I don't know how the stream is looking. I'd like to think it looks pretty good. I'm trying to stream back out in 1080p, which is a little bit lower resolution than what I'm using on my monitor, but hopefully that will keep the stream running at, fast enough. I'm only running it out at 30 frames frames a second, so hopefully, hopefully my upstream bandwidth is going to be good enough to get that live stream out without too many stop starts for you folks. Weather's not the greatest today, but misty and foggy up here at this altitude. It's only 3 degrees centigrade after all, but a bit chilly outside. But maybe we'll put the heaters on. There we go. Let's put the heater on. Cloud to clear this terrain by the looks of things. That'll be very exciting for you guys looking at the view out the window now. It's looking pretty yucky out there. Ooh, that was a bit of a burst. Set this altitude over that. Oops, down draft. Nose up, still going down. Nose up, we're still descending. Like I said, the weather here is a little bit sort of unpredictable. 33 knot winds that we're flying into, which is making it quite a challenge. You can see it's pretty cloudy out there. Need to pitch it like 2.5 degrees or so just to really want to stay out of these clouds, but I don't really have much choice at the moment. Every time I try to turn, that wind gets up under that wing and just like picks me up. It's just shocking. This is what I saw. So imagine like in virtual reality, right? Your eyes are bobbing around and the plane is bobbing around and you got these humps and these bumps and that, but your ears are not your ears are certainly not doing the same thing as what your eyes are doing. So it's really a bit sort of about 11 miles out, just trying to work out where I'm going to descend into to actually have a look at this viaduct, if we can actually hopefully get low enough. nervous to be, if you're a nervous flyer, you'd be probably pooped your pants by now. If you're a nervous pilot, you would have pooped your pants by now. You want to have a lot of confidence to do this in real life, I'd be thinking. It is very windy and very bumpy. I am working very hard to keep this plane level and yeah. I could cheat, probably put the autopilot on, but what would be the fun in that? Very shortly I should be able to hit a valley that should take us, we should be able to descend down into, to have a look. Again. Oh. Hello, blue skies. Not for long, boys and girls, because we will be dipping down once we come across this ridge here. Not this first, not this first lake that you can see, or this first river that you can see, but once we get past there. where it gets a little bit of fun. We are going to drop right down into here, hopefully break out through the bottom of the cloud. Now you would not, in real life, I doubt that you would even think about flying just using synthetic terrain. Maybe you would, I don't know. I'm not quite sure how some of these crazy bush pilots do it, but maybe they do just use synthetic terrain. And until we get some visibility back. There we are, we've got some visibility, and as you can see, we are coming down through the valley, and up ahead, my friends, my fellow flight simmers and interested watchers, is the viaduct, the Glenfinnan Viaduct. We are going to fly across this and then fly out into that lock and do a quick turn and get some altitude back so we can go to our next airport destination. That will be the short 40-minute flight that I'm happy to take you guys on today. Hope you're finding it interesting. If you're not, too bad. I am. I'm loving it. There it is. We will try and get down lower. We're descending at a rate 1,700 feet per minute and 120 knots. There it is. You get to see the viaduct in all its glory as we come down over it. Just look at this, this is just, I mean, this is just great, you know. Scenery is spectacular, look at that. To climb up, gain some altitude, and I think I can get around there. No, I can't. I'm going to have to get above these hills. Before I can turn around and head back towards Fort Augustus Airstrip is our next stop. And it's about 29 nautical miles, so buffeting winds. It's the wind, because the wind's coming in across those peaks and troughs. There's some big updrafts there. You just don't want big downdrafts. Those are the ones you don't really want. So here we go again. We're going to have to climb up into this muck again. So we can head back towards where we want to go. To the next little airstrip. That's our destination on this flight. You've enjoyed this little tiki tour. I'm going to do a few more of these live videos, taking you on a little bit journey to some of the interesting sort of points of interest that have been included, and over to some of the interesting sites, photogrammetry cities, as we tour around this part of the world. So I think basically there's Scotland and England that have been, they've all had a bit of extra treatment as far as the terrain and the scenery and everything is concerned. And so is France and the Netherlands, and dropping on Thursday, which is tomorrow US time, so Friday our time, will be the next world update for this game, which will take in, I believe, Scandinavia, possibly Iceland and Greenland as well. I'm not quite sure how much of it I've decided to capture. I think it's Scandinavia, or was it the Baltic? So I'm not quite sure what they were doing. I'm going to do an upgrade on update. I'd have to have a quick look to let you know. But, it's taken me a long time to get to this part of the world anyway. I have been flying on my round the world trip in these little planes since August last year, leaving Melbourne, Australia, where I live in lockdown, partial lockdown, or sometimes lockdown, or whatever it takes the government's fancy at the time. So my only way to get out and explore this beautiful world, whereas I would normally do it in real life, is to do it virtually. Body of water that you can see up ahead on the synthetic map there. There's a body of water there that you can see up there. And that will be the body of water. I'm going to descend down under these clouds again and fly along that body of water to get us to our airstrip and to land on runway 21 by looks of things. Whoopsie daisy. Okay, slow down there, big boy. Expecting that little updraft then. Whoa, and a downdraft. Here we go again in the cloud and buffeting around like a roller coaster. Nose is flat, look at that, we're still being pushed up. Here we go again. Through these lovely puffy clouds. Look at them. Yay. Whoop. There we go again. challenging weather that we're flying in today. These really are instrument meteorological conditions. So we're going to again just keep checking that windscreen and the wing leading edges for a bit of ice, but sitting on 0 degrees, so these clouds, there's always opportunity that you can get some icing. Alright, let's see if we can descend down a bit and get down under this cloud layer. Once again, I'm going to do a little bit of crazy bush flying here and use my synthetic display to give me a rough idea of where I'm sitting as far as terrain is concerned. I can also use this map here that shows me well where I am, full view of the terrain, but I find this is good enough. Good if we can just get underneath it, then at least you guys aren't just looking at clouds, you can actually see some of this beautiful scenery that we're flying around in. So we're going to fly up a Loch Lochy. Up to Loch Oich. I don't know. Anybody here speak Scottish? They can correct me on my pronunciation. But Loch Lochy to start. That's how I say it in Australian English. Bit of Loch Lochy. And Carlos, if you're watching, oh looky here, bro. Alright, yep, cut through here, through this gap, and then up to the, round through here. That's Loch Lochy that we're looking at now. We're going to follow the A82 highway, which is on the other side of the loch, you'll see that. It runs along the edge of the loch. A82, and we'll be following that up, and then we're going to get up to Fort Augustus, and then we'll have to do a 180 degree turn and land on the airstrip, runway 21, and it looks like, let's have a look, what details have I got? Augustus airstrip is it's a soft grass strip, so that will make life a bit more fun. So straight up this lock here, and we'll go past the South Logan Forest that you can see up over here. That's the South Logan Forest. Up and we're going to fly, so 2,500 feet. Let's get down to about 1,500 feet, so we're nice settled down inside this lock, with the winds blowing across the top of us. As already now the winds have dropped back to 16 knots once we get down here, sheltered a little bit. another little lock here now. Lock oink, 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 oink. On the roads. Oh, they're flying along too. Yeah, they don't have a speed limit there in Scotland, do they? Airstrip's at 387 feet, so it's up on the hill a little bit. According to my details that I have.
Traffic Cessna Golf Uniform Romeo Delta Yankee 2 miles west, 1,300 feet inbound to land runway 21.
So the airstrip should be just over there somewhere. Cannot see it, but I think it's in between those two hills. Just on the other side of the hills there. We will be coming round to runway 21, so let's get this happening. Ah, is that the airstrip down there, is it? Well, we are going to be so we'll come around again and see if we can get in lower. Oh, that's going to be a tricky little airstrip to get into. Right, we'll overfly it and then we'll come around again. And, get down on that little grass airstrip there. Be a bit of a tricky little landing, I'm thinking.
Victor Zulu traffic Cessna Golf Uniform Romeo Delta Yankee is on final runway 21 to land.
There she is, there's the airstrip over there. And we're going to come round and just drop her in. So boys and girls, this is going to be a lot of fun looking at this bank. Right. Down and over these trees.
500.
This is not recommended if you are not a bush pilot. I'm not a bush pilot. But, as you can see, woohoo, there we go. In we come. Oh, there's a little photograph of a plane stuck on the strip. Ha! Very nice. And in we come. Stall, 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 stall. And we are down. Thank you, folks. I'm going to find somewhere to park my plane. There's no parking around here. This is just a little grass strip in the middle of nowhere. There's going to be a park around here somewhere and see if I can call a taxi to go and get a beer. Thanks again for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed this little excursion in the Scottish Isles and the Scottish Highlands.